This episode is brought to you by Olive and June.
And I'm a brand new fan of Olive and June because we're going to be talking about their gel polishes, which we're really excited to get. But prior to even this, like 2 weekends ago, Mats and I were out and he treated me to 2 Olive and June polishes that I painted my toes, and they look so good.
I love painting my nails at home. As you know, Olive and June delivers up to 21 days of flawless wear with a high gloss shine that won't chip, lift, or dull. There's no damaging removal thanks to their new peel off base coat and salon speed soak off system. Say goodbye to the drama of gel removal.
Olive and June's new gel mani system includes everything you need for a salon quality manicure in one box, and you can customize it with your choice of 6 gel polishes, which breaks down to less than $2 a manicure. There's a custom 5-finger LED lamp and the iconic poppy for easy painting with your non-dominant hand.
They also have a high-performance cleaner solution, HEMA-free, 15-free, and always cruelty-free and vegan.
I used to be a huge salon manicure kind of girl. Like, I was getting my gel every couple weeks, and I have to say, like, when I stopped doing that, I realized how much more of my life I had back.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I used to think that going to get a manicure and pedicure was relaxing, but I don't know what happened in the last few years, but
it was a sudden shift.
It does not feel relaxing anymore. It just kind of feels like I'm being pushed around and I have to leave. And that is why I switched to doing my nails at home.
I have to say, I think I'm probably the most excited for the peel off base coat, because that has been like the thing that has stopped me prior to this from getting into doing an at-home gel manicure.
Yeah, my nails actually got pretty damaged too because of all the scraping. And I asked him to stop doing that at the nail salon, and they're pretty resistant to that. So I like that I can be at home and, control that myself. I'm also really looking forward to all the shades that they have. They have 60 plus best-selling colors.
I'm so excited. CV red is like that, like perfect orangey red, which is like my favorite shade to wear.
Visit oliveandjune.com/blame me for 20% off your first Olive and June gel mani system.
That's OLIVEANDJUNE.com/BLAMEME for 20% off your first Olive and June gel mani system.
We all love a legendary comeback, and Degree Original Cool Rush is back and better than ever. Cool Rush isn't just a scent, it's a movement, a fan favorite that delivers bold, fresh vibes and all-day sweat protection. Whether you have a man that spends hours in the gym, heads into the office early, or is just trying to stay fresh on a long day, Cool Rush has their back. Head to your local Walmart or Target and grab Degree Cool Rush, the fan favorite scent from the world's #1 antiperspirant brand.
Hello, welcome to But Am I Wrong, starring 2 people who, you've never been wrong.
Find receipts if I have been. Find the receipts. Don't think you can.
Show me the screenshot. My name is Meghan. I'm joined by my co-host and producer and the diamond of every season, Melisa Diamond Motts.
Hello,
how are you doing?
I'm good. Speaking of receipts, I got a notification from Apple yesterday saying that they were having trouble backing up my messages because I have everything backed up every 30 days because I do keep my receipts and I pull out screenshots from years ago. And I was panicking, but then it was able to back it up. So it was good. Yeah. But I'm good.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
You sound so spirited, in good spirits.
I did stuff this weekend.
What did you do?
Surprise. I went to an art gallery on Saturday.
Fun.
And then Sunday I saw my friend Kathryn and Alex and the babies, Koya and Anton.
They were very cute.
They're very cute babies.
I forgot that it was Easter. Yeah. Yep. Fully forgot that it was Easter. You know what I've decided though? I've decided that when I have like a family, that even into adulthood, I want to be that family who does like Easter egg hunts. Like I lived for an Easter egg hunt. Like I wish I could do that now. Like I think they're so fun and so cool.
I mean, there's no reason why we can't.
Exactly.
Now you have a big backyard that we haven't talked about that yet because you announced it on Friday, right?
Yep, I announced it Friday. So if you only listen to this podcast, we closed on a house. We have a home that we're moving into. We're maybe guys by the time that you listen to this, we will actually be close to why do we do this every fucking episode where we
you'll be moving in a couple days by the time they hear this.
Okay, yeah. So I will be moving. Send your well wishes. And also if you're looking to buy any furniture, please just keep an eye out on my Instagram because this is going to be the crunch time of me selling and donating shit because we can't move everything.
Yep.
I'm overwhelmed.
I mean, if somebody bought my massage chair, then I would take your pink chairs, but nobody's bought it. So I don't have room for your chairs right now.
Yeah, we're figuring out. There's just a lot to do in a move. And I've never I didn't move at all growing up, unlike you. But I moved a ton. I feel like I really made up for it by the time that I turned 18. Moved into a dorms, moved into an apartment, moved into another apartment, then moved into back home, then moved into a different apartment. I've probably within LA, I moved every year for a long period of time. And then once we moved here, I used to live in the downstairs unit for a year. Then I moved upstairs and I've been here for 7 years, something in total.
Yeah, because when we first met, you were moving that weekend, you were moving from downstairs to upstairs.
And so I'm kind of just ooh, I've never moved 6 years of my life. And also in typical ADHD fashion, instead of going through all of the shit from my old apartments that I needed to get rid of, I just put it in my garage. So my garage just is storage of shit that I haven't looked at in it's from not even it's from moves prior.
Yeah.
Than the one that into this place. So it's just fuck.
That makes total sense to me because kind of my parents, when we moved, by the time we ended up back in Arkansas the final time, the whole garage was just stuff. And it was, probably three, because it was a 3-car garage, so 3 times as big as the one that you have, I think. So it was just filled with stuff. And then one weekend, they just had a junk person come and just clear out the thing we lost. So not a lot, a lot of things that we probably wanted to keep hold of were taken up. But then it's why? Why are we carrying this around with us?
I'm trying to give myself enough time that, and Matsu's trying to work on that. And I was no, that's the last thing we do because worst case scenario, we just call up a truck and donate every single thing in here, as opposed to in the house, in our current place. I'm we have to get things out. We have to leave. We have to end this lease. So very excited. Again, if you didn't listen, I talked about it in this week's episode of Don't Blame Me, but I have a vlog where I did us buying a house. I also filmed an empty house tour, which I don't know when the fuck I'm going to edit it. People are I'm so excited for moving vlogs. And I just have a question. How do people have the fucking time?
You'd have to hire somebody or have a vest that just has as you're walking around.
A live stream GoPro footage.
And then later, much later, you sit down and edit after you've maybe just, set up a GoPro inside the house as people are moving things in.
I have so many questions, but maybe it's they have more time. I think it's editors. They have to have an edit. How do you have time to do that?
Yeah. There was a little microphone that I let you borrow a long time ago that I forgot about, but I actually, if you find it, let me know.
Ooh,
if not, oh well.
Yeah. If I have anything of anyone's, you got to reach out to me now because it might just get. I have
Liza's
Liza's
perfect time. Those toe socks you sent me.
I know. I texted Melissa the other day this picture. Everyone remind me. I will put it on the Instagram story today. Where is this? So I just sent her this picture of this small hot pink grippy sock, but it doesn't have any toes. Like, it has like individual spaces for all of the toes. And I said, is this your sock? No, that's my nightmare. Okay, good. It made me picture your Vienna sausage toes individually wrapped. And then you said, like pigs in a blanket. So yeah, I'm going through, but I found one of like Liza's denim jackets from like years and years and years ago. And I literally was like, okay, I need to ask her if she wants this. But like simultaneously, I'm going to be like, this is also ugly. So like, please tell me you don't want this. Like, I just like.
It'll come back in like 10 years. It'll not be ugly anymore.
Yeah. But I was like, I want you to know that I have this, but like also,
it's ugly.
I'm going to donate it on your behalf because this is ugly.
Honestly, you could probably sell it and then have enough for you.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Movers.
I'll try and find a little Koshi curly hair. Yeah. And I'll be like, hey. That is so funny. Okay, well, I guess we should explain what this podcast is. This is But Am I Wrong? Where we just talk about people being wrong. Never us, except sometimes maybe. Yeah. Where we have our first segment, But Am I Wrong? Where we bring up things that have happened in our personal lives recently or hot takes, things that we've been thinking on, stewing on. And then we will read your submissions. And then we have our final segment, which is But Are They Wrong? AKA Rachel of the Week, where we nominate the absolute woat of the week, the worst of all time, the shithead, all of it. And then one of our personal favorite parts is then we put up all of the things we talked about into polls on our Instagram story so you can vote and we can see if you agreed with us, if you disagreed, like what your thoughts were on all of this. So those go up on Friday, sometimes a little bit later, but probably Friday because weekends are way busier for me while moving. And you vote on everything. And we ask that you read every single one before you vote. And
please,
if you vote wrong, send us a DM, let us know. And if you vote with the unpopular opinion, we'd love to hear the reasoning why. I guess we should read the results. You are not the father.
All right. Melissa versus the narrative around jury duty. 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong.
Correct. I side with all of that. And we also had a good discussion about that on the Facebook group.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, well, people were talking about how they've seen like a lot of podcasts have just been like talking about jury duty recently, and especially people in LA. Like it feels like everyone in LA is getting called.
Well, they kind of like, if it wasn't urgent, they were pushing things during COVID. So that's part of the reason.
I did see a news story though so my jury duty after figuring out, so they didn't send the summons like the next one. And so something happened where they were like, oh, we're going to send another one. So like, don't worry about it. And so I'm waiting for that to find out. But part of me, I'm like, I wonder, like I felt like it was in the springtime because I remembered that I think it was around the time we were going to be trying to move. And I was like, well, that's going to be really stressful.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So this is what I think. I wonder if this could have been me that I just saw the Black China versus the Kardashians lawsuit. They like just were going through and finding all of the jurors now and like asking them all these questions and stuff. And that happened this past like week. And I was like, maybe that would have been mine.
Interesting.
So we'll never know, but we can create that narrative for me. Mm-hmm. Okay, next up we have me versus the demonizing of hormonal birth control. 2% said I was wrong and 98% said I was not wrong. Got a lot of wonderful messages from people who also experienced, the same feelings that I had, which I see you.
All right. Writer number 1 versus their best friend who is dating a Candace Owens supporter. 2% said the writer is wrong, and then 98% said their best friend is wrong. Good picture.
Thank you. It's a great one. Next, we have writer number 2 versus sending a bikini picture to your friend's parents. 5% said the writer was wrong, and 95% said the friend was wrong. Yeah, this one was just weird.
Yeah.
Very
weird. What do you type in when you're looking for pictures?
It takes me too long. So like, I just need everyone to know that while I'm moving, that you're going to see a lot of the same pictures over and over and over again. No, so I essentially like deep dive on every like Twitter, Pinterest, Reddit, like for all of these reaction photos. And they're really funny. But yeah, I spend way too much fucking time on them. So like I'm going to be reusing a lot in some current
That's
times.
fine.
This one is my favorite reaction photo ever.
Writer number 3 versus homophobic uncle. Who is wrong? 1% said the writer is wrong. 99% said the writer is not wrong.
And would you like to describe the photo to people?
Is this a person I should know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But maybe.
I haven't. If it's from a TV show, which it probably is, I haven't seen it. But it is a lady with a nice puff ponytail holding a phone in her hand that says, "Do you want to fight?" as the note screen saver, whatever. It's a good picture.
And the face, like the facial expression is just because it's unreadable.
Right.
You could read that face as being like completely joking,
or
as like
or totally serious.
What?
Bitch.
It's just funny. And also like they're in front of like a computer, so it just makes me think that like this is something I would have put on my phone if we were in like computer class and some shit in like middle school, and I just would have like shown it to my friend, and like it's just it feels so funny like that.
Unfortunately, when I was in computer classes, we had Nokia phones, so you wouldn't have been able to read it.
Yeah. Okay, then we have writer number 4 versus lack of trigger warnings in books. Who is wrong? 4% said that writer is wrong. They are anti-trigger warning. And 96% said writer is not wrong, pro-trigger warning. Got a lot of messages from people who had said that like there are these specific websites you can use that will do trigger warnings. And then someone said that there is like an option or like the section in books where people do that, but it's like on one of like those early first pages in like really tiny font, and like there's no regulations. So like sometimes they leave things out, but yeah.
I think the point is that it should be readily available in the book and you shouldn't have to search for it.
Yeah, the same thing that is in like television shows. Like, yeah, we just need some regulation of that.
All right, wrong of the week is Luentia Lavanya Browning. Who is wrong? 93% said LLB is wrong. 7% said LLB is not wrong. What the fuck? Seems kind of high, to be honest.
I think a lot of people were confused by the what the fuck, and they thought it was like as a judgment of her as opposed to a judgment of them for voting for that. So I will take onus of that. Okay. Next, we have my wrong of the week, where I nominated 7M Films Management Company. 99% said that 7FMC is wrong, and 1% said they are not wrong. Okay, so those are the results. We hope you all vote for this episode. Another great tip that people have had is they take notes during the episode while they listen to it, and then they can know that they are voting accurately. Because like I'm sure the ego boost when you don't vote wrong for not a single one is great. Like I'm sure you just like finish that and you feel so accomplished. So don't you want to try and have that feeling?
Yeah, I like to feel accomplished.
Doesn't happen that often though. No, because I start 15,000 things all at once.
Yeah, but then that one time that you finish something, it's great.
Yeah.
You get things done during the week. I just don't think you count your little.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you should count your little.
No, I need to make a rule for myself that I can't add more things on my to-do list while the day is happening, because like it just keeps getting longer, even though I've accomplished things.
Do you do one the day before?
Yeah, but then I forget shit that I had to do.
For mine, I'll do things day before, add it, but then I'll make like mine is broken up by days. So like if it's something that I need to add, I'll just add it to the next day. Do you do that instead of adding it to your current day?
No, I don't do that.
You should do that.
I probably should.
And then if you don't finish something, just move it to the next day. And then you just keep moving it until you eventually finish it.
Funny that you use that word specifically. I have like to do today, tomorrow, and then like days of the week. And then at the bottom, I have just eventually. And I have like a whole list of things that I need to do. Yeah. Eventually.
They're not pressing right now. So why should, there's only a certain amount of hours in a day and we rarely sleep as it is. So
exactly.
Don't beat yourself up over things like that.
Thanks.
All right. Should we get into the episode?
Yes. Now it's time for But Am I Wrong? So we're each going to do our own things that are either hot takes or things that have happened to us recently. I think I started last time.
You did. I made a note. So I'm first this time. So mine is singing should be banned from airplanes. All mine today are going to be airplane related. So strap in. You're in for a bumpy ride. Singing should be banned. And I'm sure at this point, everyone has seen the video of, I guess, a Christian group that was on an airplane that had guitars out standing in the middle of the aisle, singing and sharing their joy for the Lord. What they were doing, and I am a Christian, they're being an annoyance to everyone. And I think like singing as a whole should be banned, because even a few years ago, I don't know if you remember this, but like the cast of Lion King from Broadway were singing on a plane. And I was like, I would be so aggravated and annoyed. People have their mouths open. I am a very nervous flyer. So this would have made me even more nervous. I need to be with my Calm app doing meditations. And we've got these people just being that we're in a closed place that I can't escape from. And you're singing. I don't want to hear this. And as far as this Christian group, like, you shouldn't be trying to force religion on other people. It's just not cool. It's not the Christian way if you're actually a Christian. It's just not it. Also, that's a safety hazard. You're making all your spit particles that are flying out there. You guys are all fucking assholes. It reminds me of when James Corden and the cast of Cinderella got in the middle of the street and were blocking traffic and forcing themselves on other people with their singing, and probably made a whole bunch of people late because LA traffic is horrendous as it is already.
And that's a horrible intersection.
Same vibe.
I agree with you. I would like to take it one step further. Okay. I think group singing should be banned. Like in general, I think unless I am
choirs, I like
no, but that's a choice.
Okay,
that's like unless I am like signing up to like attend a concert, a performance, a play. Mm-hmm. I think spontaneous group singing, in public spaces,
agree with that,
should be illegal. Like I think like a cappella groups that hang out in just corridors, and are suddenly saying no. I think that should be banned. And also, just to add, if any other religion did this, any other religion, holy fucking shit, the response from like the praising, there would be no praise. Like it would also, I don't think they would have been, I think airlines would have stopped them.
It would have stopped,
and I think that people on the plane would have stopped them. And I think, it was so weird. And also I'm like,
so cringy.
How are you not embarrassed? Like, that's so embarrassing.
Those type of people don't get embarrassed.
They should.
They should, but they're like missing that embarrassment thing that goes off in your brain.
Wow. I'm glad I have that.
Me too.
Because like I'm already embarrassing, and like I know when I'm being embarrassing, but like just imagine just like.
You don't have like those kids in school that were in like that did all the musicals that they would just be singing all the time.
Yeah, that's where I got my hatred of spontaneous group singing from. Like,
so like it's those people all together. Yeah. And then you add in white Jesus.
See, that's like I already hated, like I was like the anti-musical theater kid. Like I was like, I'm not anti-musical theater, but like I was just like, I did not fit the bill of like who was in my drama department, but like I was a big part of my drama department. And there was no religious aspect of that. But if you added in the religion to that, like I was annoyed enough with like everybody being like, did you see last week's episode of Glee? And they would just like start singing the song and I'd be like, well, I'm out of here. But like,
I had a friend who was the sweetest person. She was lovely, but she was one of those singing people. And she sat in front of me in our math class and she'd be singing during tests and like wouldn't even notice it. And I have to kick the back of her. Like, shut the fuck up.
I can't. Because it's just giving such Leah Michelle. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice. I just like, or like, I think we all sing in the words of Victoria Justice. Wow. So you're not wrong. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Thank you.
Okay, so mine, I am like looking at my list of things that I have, and I just like need people to know that I fluctuate between things that are like very serious topics and other things that are just like me being an asshole. So I'm picking something that's like decently more serious. My hot take is that America is not obsessed with health and wellness. They're just insanely fat phobic and obsessed with obesity. And I listened to a wonderful podcast called Maintenance Phase, and I recommend it for absolutely everybody. And I really, really recommend it for thin people specifically because it gives such an insight into how fat phobia, similarly to ableism, is like so ingrained in our society that like we don't see it and like we don't recognize it when it's happening, and like just like everyday acts perpetuate all of this. And so I have like lots of thoughts and feelings on like the obesity epidemic, and they did a great episode on that. But the fact that they passed a law that made restaurants have to have calorie counts on the menus. But you know what law they have never been able to pass? That they have to have allergen lists on menus. There's absolutely no regulation of that for restaurants. So restaurants are not legally required to provide food allergy warnings for people who are allergic to ingredients in food. Food products at the supermarket will list major allergens, but at restaurants and like chain restaurants, everything. So Congress designed the Food Allergen Labeling and Consumer Protection Act of 2004 to cover packaged food items, but it does not require retail or food service companies that make food to give allergy warnings to customers. That means like anywhere that you go, they don't have to tell you if there's allergens in there. They can also lie about having allergens in there. And the same thing with like cross-contamination. They don't have to warn you. They will do it voluntarily. They can like let you know, but also because there is no regulation, like they can just lie with no like penalty for doing that. But the only time that they will do that if it's like packaged goods. But yeah, so in the massive healthcare reform act that Obama signed, it had restaurants with more than 20 locations must post calorie counts on print display and drive-through menus, but there are absolutely no regulations requiring restaurants to post allergen information. And this statistic, this is from allergyeats.com, more than 12 million people in the US have food allergies, 4% of the population. That number is even higher for children under the age of 3 and 6%. And another 3 million people have been diagnosed with celiac disease. What some of the terminology of this was, individuals who regularly eat high-calorie restaurant meals will likely gain weight over time and are setting themselves up for significant health risks, possibly including earlier death down the road, obviously nothing to take lightly. However, individuals who accidentally eat a meal containing a food they are allergic to can have severe health effects immediately, potentially even fatal.
Has anyone did they talk about anyone trying to pass anything, or is there any legislation that's been written?
So far from what I've seen, and I will do more research and add it in the show notes, that hasn't, like, it was hard to get the packaged goods ones. And like, it seems like we've kind of hit like a stagnant with that. And it feels like everything prioritizes obesity. And like, it's just like, I'm just going to say the obsession with obesity gives like, it's icky to me. Like it feels like beyond fat phobic. It feels like, I don't want to say like a kink or something, but like these people who have this like absolute like hatred of like fat people, their like inherent like obsession with them is just really unsettling. Like it's not only just like really like gross and dangerous and cruel, it's unsettling. The shit that you'll see that like people will say and like go out of their way to find fat, like it is creepy as fuck. I just think that like we see the world being like ableist in current times with COVID and all of that stuff. And like the thing that everybody wants to focus on immensely is obesity. And but in reality, and you can hear this on the episode of Maintenance Phase, a lot of the correlations that people have with these early deaths and all of these things, or life's like ailments or diseases that can come, or heart problems from that, is mostly due to the fact that like fat people, overweight people don't have the same access to effective healthcare. Like, so drugs aren't tested on people above a certain weight limit. So like all of these things, like it is a problem that the medical community has created. And then they are blaming people for their weight for the reason why that they're not going to get good healthcare, and then saying that those people are unhealthy, even though they're not providing good healthcare.
Right. And also like not just healthcare, but also providing the food or money and access to the food, and the fact that organic food is cost more than GMO foods. And it's just all a circle.
Yeah. And like food deserts and like everything, like it's capitalism. And then you have doctors who are signing on to this, and like no one's unpacking their own personal biases and their own like bigoted belief system. And I am just done with that shit. Like you can't claim that you're about health and you want all of this shit when our country doesn't even have regulations for people who have like food allergies. Like that, like, no, you don't give a shit. Like you truly don't give a shit. And like when I went to Europe and went to the UK specifically, they have to list everything. It was the greatest thing in my life. Like I've never been able to eat like that. Like they have to list everything that's on the menu. They have to have like a certain percentage of their menu that is completely allergen free, can be made allergen free. Like there is no cross contamination issue. Like you don't have to have cross contamination. Just don't do it. Like there's no, like, just don't. Like what the fuck? Like, and it's just.
And that leads to a cleaner kitchen too.
Yes. And also it doesn't just benefit, it benefits people who are kosher. It benefits people who like have different like food practices for different religions. It had all of that shit. Like it benefits everyone.
But you know, if it's not Christian, they don't care.
Exactly. It's Christian and capitalism. Like those are the top two things that are like controlling absolutely all of this shit that it is all encompassed by. And like when you take the like the most hateful aspects of both of those things, then that's where you get bigotry through all of that as well, because they use those things as an excuse. And it just makes me mad.
I'm honestly surprised there hasn't been like some celebrity that's like gun-ho on this and going and lobbying about it.
Me too. It probably would have been like a Jessica Biel thing, but then she got too big with like the vaccine mandates.
Yeah, but someone like that, but you know, not like that.
Even like the whole thing of like, I like don't bring nuts on like planes anymore because I'm nervous if like someone has a nut allergy, because like
I'll get them, and then if they offer them, I'll get them and put them in my pocket and don't eat it till I get off the plane.
Yeah, I just worry that like if someone had to like get rescheduled on a flight, or if like a flight attendant doesn't like make the call. You know what I mean? Like
I've been on so many flights where they don't say anything.
Yeah.
And I've got all my niece, half of them are like allergic to pretty much everything. So I'm always careful about it, but that's because I'm aware of it. And then some people just push the awareness because they don't care. And then a lot of people don't even know that they're allergic to things that add to, you know, it could be even the opposite of that, that could add to what they think is obesity. And it's actually not. It's a food allergy.
Yeah. I just think that we all need to, not me, because we're not included in this, but all of these fucking people need to stop pretending that they care about the health and well-being of people when they clearly don't. And like, just be like, hey, my name is Susan. I'm incredibly fat phobic and I'm a cunt. Just say that. Like, don't stop pretending you're worrying about people's health, because like you're not. And it just pisses me off.
Yep.
So that's my not so hot take.
All right, so let's get into, but are you wrong? And that's when people write in and share if they're wrong in the situation. And you can send us emails at butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. Keep it to 300 words or less. If you don't,
or else
your email will not be used, and you'll receive an email back saying, make this shorter. And if you send it back twice and it's not, we will not use yours at all. All right. Anything you want to add to that?
Make sure that you are doing fake names, not like letters, because that's hard for us to follow. And yeah, let us know pronouns, people involved, as well as ages and all the relevant info.
All right, here we go. First one. Hi, Meghan and Melissa. I, 23, she, her pronouns, was recently called out by my stepmom, 54, she, her pronouns, for hurting her feelings. Some background. She had emailed me a Kindle book about finding the right career after we discussed how difficult it was for me to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I woke up the next morning to this Kindle book in my email and a message from her about how it was highly recommended and that she believed in me. I didn't respond. I figured I would say something to her when she got home because we lived together. Fast forward to her getting home and saying she had to say something to me and that it happened one too many times. She had sent me something in an email and I never responded to it. And it was simply etiquette to send something, even a simple thank you, got it. Quick note, she isn't saying I need to text her or call to say thank you. She's specifically saying I need to respond to an email with an email of my own. I apologized and she said I didn't realize that she was expecting a response and I didn't know that my not responding made her feel unappreciated. End of conversation. But am I wrong for not responding to these emails? Again, we live together. Why can't I just say something to her when she gets home from work at the end of the day? Is this some missing link between me, someone in her 20s, and her, someone in her 50s? Thank you both and have a great day. So it's kind of funny how like we've been in so much, like us growing up, like this technology has been here for most of our lives. And we kind of feel like it's better to communicate in person or, you know, in real time. I think this is like an older people thing. It's kind of like Facebook. Like they see Facebook as like real life shit and like going through real life things. And like, if you don't respond, then this isn't real life etiquette. Like they really like think that this is all virtually is like the end all be all. And I am someone who I got off Facebook because of this, because people were saying like, you didn't tell me happy birthday, or you didn't respond to my post, or you didn't do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Facebook is not real life. I don't, business wise, like I understand like email's not real life, but if you're sending, first of all, like I don't really like send personal emails. That's something I never understood, like why people send emails about personal stuff. Like send me a text message, call me about it, wait till we get home and talk about it. I think it was a nice gesture that she sent it, but I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, thank you so much. Like when she got home and said, thank you for this. I really appreciate it. I feel like that has more weight than sending an electronic mail. I don't think you're wrong.
I don't think you're wrong either, but this is making me rethink my entire life because like I am this way completely. Like I don't, like someone can send me something through an email. I don't look at my email like you said, like my email is for work. If you're sending me personal stuff to my email, I'm like, that's on you. I'm not going to read this and I'm not going to respond. Like you have my phone number and like, but even beyond, if you're going to text me, if you have something that you really need me to see and you really need me to respond on, like you can call me and like tell me, and then we can have like a conversation like that. But I think in general, if you are sending a text message or an email and you're doing something that is written and you're throwing it out into the universe for that, I do not think that that should be something that you desperately need a response on. Like, I think unless you're talking to someone in person, like you might not get a response. They might never open it. They might never respond to a DM, like all of that kind of shit. And like, you can't take that personally because if you really need a response, call someone, FaceTime someone, or talk to them about it in person.
Yeah, I feel like, especially since you lived together, like once she got home and you were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you for believing in me. This book, can't wait to read it. It's going to be super helpful. I feel like that's way more personal than responding to an email that says, thanks, I got it. But I also got in fights over people of not saying things on Facebook. So I get it.
I would truly just be like, what? Like, what? You're mad? Okay. Also, if like she sent you a Kindle book, that means most likely, unless she's like tech savvy, it's like an automated one through Amazon. So then you have to craft a new email like to her that's not from like an Amazon automated one, right?
Unless she was just sending the link for the writer to buy the book, like just sending a link to the book.
I thought she sent you the book, like a Kindle. She emailed me a Kindle book. Oh, I'm so sorry. If she just sent you a fucking link to Kindle and then was like, thank you for the, like, I would understand it slightly more. And like what I thought this whole time was that like she bought the Kindle book for you and sent it to you.
that could be it.
But if she truly just sent you the fucking link to buy the book yourself, then she's like, why didn't you thank me for sending you that link? I'd be like, what? I didn't get an email thank you for teaching you how to use Face ID. Like, come on. Like,
what's the new Face ID on the phone that like supposed to work with your mask? Doesn't work.
Oh, I haven't set it up yet.
I just did it the other day and I look like a fool.
I'm pretty used to entering in my passcode though, because it also doesn't recognize me with sunglasses on. And so.
See, mine does.
I don't know. You're not wrong. I do know that for sure.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. People need hobbies.
What if you had like a card and like a gift basket waiting for her when she got home and then and I'm not saying that you should have done that, but what if like you did do that and then she was just mad because you didn't send her an email? Like I was waiting. I wanted to look in your eyes and thank you.
So fucking weird.
I actually feel like this might be controversial.
Really?
I think some people are really into emails.
Unless my job does not require me to have an email address and I only use my email address for personal shit, like it's like leaving the same way, like it's like leaving a voicemail on a work phone. Like it's just not like I don't check my email when I do, but like I don't routinely check my email as if only when I'm expecting work stuff. Like I'm doing that for work. Like I'm not.
I literally have in my signature on my email, like don't expect an email back within 24 to 48 hours, especially because of the work I do. I'm not sitting. People really think that like you're just sitting on your computer checking emails all day. No. I need people to be like, call me and be like, did you see this email? And I'll be like, no, let me go check. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just weird. Okay. Your turn.
I've, she, her, been with my husband, Leo, he, him, for 7 years. Leo's BFF since high school, Johnny, he, him, has lived with us since October. We're all 29. Johnny's roommate kicked him out. He said his only choices were to live in his car or move in with his parents, which was worse. He talked for months before about how he hated living there and wanted to leave, but he never found a place. I discussed with Leo that it wasn't a good idea, but he truly felt bad for him, so I caved. Now we want him to move out for several reasons. He's a mooch, always has been. We buy everything except meals. He talks like a pseudo-intellectual and hogs conversations. I'm introverted and I like my space. He's a part-time driver and sets his own hours, but he only works during my work hours, so I'm literally never home alone or just with Leo because Johnny has no other friends or family nearby. He got a kitten, but doesn't clean up after her. We also have a cat, so we told him we should take turns cleaning the litter. He always brushes it off or says something ridiculous like, how am I supposed to know which poop is hers? And he quotes Joe Rogan, but I digress. Leo complains just as much, so we agreed to June 1st as the move-out date. Last night, I overheard Leo say to Johnny, we're looking at summer, June, but if you need more time, like July. I walked in there and said, no, June 1st. Johnny replied, well, that's specific. And it was awkward. I felt completely unheard. After I told Leo that I was annoyed, he didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. Am I wrong for getting upset? You could not be less wrong.
Right.
I'm sorry. Are you still having sex with your husband? Because I don't think I would be attracted to my husband at this point.
My friends that listen to this podcast, you know who you are. You're hearing this right now. This happened to you.
It did.
Maybe you guys can call in for some insight.
This is like not okay.
No, it's not.
I have a theory that the vast majority of like straight men are friends with people they don't really like that much or like don't have like really great personality traits. Mott's has this one friend. They don't listen. I'm not going to name them by name. Actually, I wonder if like we're going to find out that like some of them listen because like some of his friends listen because they're going to be like, is this about me? Mott's has this one friend who like I fucking hate. Like I've always hated, like they just suck. Like I just don't like them. And I never have. And Mott's was like, I just don't like, why? And I was like listing all of the reasons. And I was like, why do you like him? Like what? And he's like, well, I just, you know, and I was like, what are his good traits? And Mott's couldn't name one good trait at all, except that like he's consistent. And I go, yeah, he's consistently horrible.
A dick.
Like, yeah. And like, what? No. And like, it was like the consistent. And he was like, no, but like, you know, in like the sense that like, he's like always been around, like we've been friends for so like this much of time, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, That's not a personality trait. That is a circumstance. Like, what is a good thing about, and it was kind of like, oh, you accept these like annoying, like shitty kind of qualities in friends, but then also like, we wonder then why men don't talk to their friends about like really deep personal stuff a lot of the time, and like why toxic masculinity like continues to prevail over and over again is that a lot of straight male friendships are like based purely on like obligation. And I'm just like, you don't even like this person. Like, just stop doing this shit. Like, don't do, like, I just can't believe that like October to June, that's already too long.
Yeah. And somebody that's not even pulling their weight in the house and then brought a animal into the house that they don't clean up after. No, I would have kicked them out a long time ago.
Yeah. This is like your husband is behaving like a child.
Well, yeah. Also, like, they didn't want to go move in with their parents because it would be bad for them. But then they moved into your house and made it bad for you. It's not a fair trade-off. It's not fun.
The math ain't mathin'. No. And your husband, like, if your husband being mad at you for being like setting a firm line, like, you already didn't want to do this. And this is like an I told you so moment. Like, look how fucking horrible this is going. Like, this is just like an absolute shit show. And he's not helping anyone. Like, all your husband is doing is alienating you in this situation. Yeah. There's no way you're having sex either. Like, I would just like, I don't want to have, I'm like not attracted to you.
I mean, like, it smells like cats in here, and no.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. At all.
I'm like her. I don't like people in my space.
Me neither. I would be exhausted.
Yeah. And with like able-bodied people that can like do better and he's not trying to do better. No.
Like, yeah, I understand it would be harder for you to live in your car, like in your parents' house in your car, than you have a friend who lets you in. You are so gracious. You do like above and beyond, and you only let that, you only do it for like a month.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he thinks he's going to leave at all.
Right. All right. Time for a break.
Woo!
Fall is my favorite time of the year, and whenever it comes around, I'm making sure I'm bringing out my softest blankets, I'm making my favorite soups, really any excuse to use my immersion blender, and just generally making small adjustments in my day-to-day life to reflect the coziness and inherent transitional nature of the season. I love switching things up this time of the year, and that can include updating your makeup look. From a simple just gotta get out the door routine to festive fall glam or maybe even a Halloween look, Thrive Causemetics is your go-to for completing any fall look. Plus, every product is 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and made with clean, skin-loving ingredients that work with your skin, not against it. My personal favorite product that I absolutely recommend adding to your makeup bag if you haven't already is the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. It's the only mascara I wear anymore. I have it in a brown shade, which just feels a little less harsh than a black mascara. And it's a tubing mascara, so it doesn't run or smudge, and it just makes my lashes look so beautiful and long without any clumping. My favorite part, because I got so tired of working hard to get every last bit of makeup off when I was using other mascaras, when it's time to take it off, it just slides right off with warm water. And something I love about Thrive Causemetics is that purchasing their products does more than enhance your own glow. With every purchase, Thrive Causemetics makes a donation to numerous causes, and they've given over $150 million in product and cash donations to more than 600 giving partners, so it really is beauty with purpose. Whether you're doing a total overhaul or just making the tweaks in your life to feel in line with the season, complete your fall look. Go to thrivecausemetics.com/thrive for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Causemetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/thrive.
Hi there, Fred Greenhalgh here, director of audio dramas like DC High Volume Batman and Star Trek Con. However, my one true love remains all things spooky, and I'm excited to say there's a new season of my horror podcast, Undertow. This season is called Familiar Haunts, standalone horror tales that reveal how the past is never truly gone, and humanity may be the most ruthless monster of them all. Familiar Haunts is available now. Find it by subscribing to Undertow wherever you get your podcasts, such as the app where you're listening to me right now. Search for Undertow.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Tom.
So big news to share, right?
Yes, huge, monumental, earth-shaking.
Heartbeat sound effect big. Mate is back.
That's right. After a brief snack nap.
We're coming back. We're picking snacks.
We're eating snacks.
We're rating snacks.
Like the snackologist we were born to be.
Mate is back.
Mike and Tom eat snacks.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Unless you get them from a snack machine, in which case, call us.
Call us.
And we're back.
We're back. Let's get in to the rest of these.
Met, I like this, they left off a letter to keep it short. Met and became best friends with April and Jess in college, and we got a house together. April and I took one room, and Jess got the primary. Things were great for a year until Jess told us her childhood best friend, Katie, would be staying in her room for the summer. Jess was never home, as it was so. April and I decided it wasn't a big deal. April, Katie, and I were always home, though, so naturally we bonded as roommates, cooking together and watching TV in the living room. Jess never said anything, but her behavior obviously indicated that she hated that April and I were becoming friends with Katie. We decided that if she didn't feel strongly enough to say something about it, that we wouldn't either. Katie moved out as planned, and a year later, Katie reached out to April and I asking to grab lunch to catch up. April and I genuinely liked her and agreed to meet that one time, thinking no big deal. Months later, Jess calls us screaming with Katie crying in the background. Jess went through Katie's phone while she was sleeping and found out about the lunch. Jess demanded we stop being friends and communicating ever again with Katie immediately, or our friendship with her was over. I felt like I was property rather than a human being and declined both friendships to avoid future drama. 100% we should have made her aware of the lunch looking back, but I genuinely feel like Jess majorly overreacted and was out of line for going through Katie's phone and then giving us an ultimatum instead of having an adult conversation, and also never communicating her actual feelings. Dynamics were off, but am I wrong? I don't think you're wrong at all.
Jess is a loser.
Jess is the one that brought Katie into the dynamic. As it is.
Like, don't introduce, like, if you're lame and, like, you're a loser and you're not cool, don't introduce your friends to, like, your other friend who's cooler than you because, like, they're going to like her more than you.
Right.
Sorry.
Why are you mad that, like, we're friends with her and you clearly don't like her? And it was evident to the writer that Jess was mad about how close they got with Katie. So, like, if I knew that she was mad that we weren't friends, I wouldn't have invited her to the lunch either. Because then she would have been pissy during the lunch and when it was just for you guys to catch up with Katie.
I also don't think that you needed to have told her, like, that you, like, Katie was the one who invited you to lunch. Like, I also think even if you invited her to lunch with you in April, like, I don't think that you owed Jess an explanation or, like, to let her know ahead of time, like, at all.
No. Like, I don't owe anyone an explanation for where I choose to spend my time.
I wonder how long Jess and Katie's friendship is going to last after this, because this is, like, wildly controlled. Like, I commend the fact that, and I totally understand, we were like, neither of this is, it's not worth it for you to maintain friendships with either of them to avoid future drama. Agree. But I wonder at what point, if Katie will get to that point, because.
But if she's crying, like getting yelled at and being cried and forcing her to cry, it feels like that she probably isn't friends unless she doesn't realize yet how much of a cunt that Jess is.
This is so weirdly controlling.
And I'm sure if they were friends before, then they've probably, like, had lunches together without you guys.
And I would think that this might have happened before with her, that people always like Katie more. So she's, like, very controlling of who Katie hangs out with.
Yeah. Why would she bring Katie in if you can't bring your cool friends around and then you not be cool too?
Yeah. Like, if you are a loser, you can't expect people to not, like, people know, like, and if you have cool friends, like, they are going to be like, they're so much cooler than you.
Even if of course, I'm sure that you guys didn't say this out loud, but you were thinking it in your head.
And she knows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all know if we have a friend who like, oh my God, this is my cool friend. Like, this friend is really cool. And like, if you're insecure about that or like, you don't want, like, no.
Yeah. I have a friend that I introduced to my other friends and they hang out more because they are into more of the same type of things. I don't care. That doesn't change what our friendship is.
Yeah. I love that my friends all get along.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm awesome and I'm not a loser.
Mm-hmm. That's what you should want.
Yeah. I think Jess needs to focus on herself and why she sucks so much. And why people don't like her. Like, this is like, I can't even express how embarrassing this is for her. Like,
right.
This is so embarrassing. And like, you can't recover from this. Like, you have to like change your name, like go somewhere else. Cause like, no one's going to think you're cool. This follows you. Fucking weird ass behavior. I hope that Katie gets out of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Meghan and Melissa. I'm 19 years old with the pronouns she, her. The situation involves my boyfriend, 19, he, him, call it Brady, and his mother, 44, Tammy. I am in college and commuting while living with my boyfriend. My boyfriend, Brady, has a full-time job and makes $1,000 more than I do monthly. Being a full-time student, I only work 3 to 4 days / 22 hours a week, and I'm financially independent. Tammy, his mom, charges me rent of $300 a month while Brady doesn't have to pay rent. His mother's only home 1 to 2 months out of the year because she is a traveling nurse, so I, yes, just me, take care of the house for her. The past month or two, I've been struggling financially and all of my money / paychecks have been going to her for rent, and then I only have about $20 to $50 to live on for the month. I brought it up to him the other day, and he instantaneously got upset with me and initiated an argument. He told me that I should be capable of taking on more work, and that's just life. I mentioned asking his mother to lower my rent for a few months until I'm back on my feet, but he instantly shot back at me and told me I need to grow up and figure it out. When I did ask Tammy about lowering it, when I thought she'd be understanding as she went to college herself and knows the struggle, her response was very cold and told me to move out in a few months if I couldn't pay. But Brady agreed with her wholeheartedly and said I should be capable. Am I wrong for being upset about the situation, and what should I do? The only thing that you are wrong for is dating this man. And that's it. And even that, I'm not going to victim blame you at all. Like, this is like, anytime that someone writes in and just like in such plain language says how horribly someone in their life is like treating them, and it's not like we broke up and whatever, like that to me just like screams, you've been conditioned to this behavior because this behavior has been like constant. This is like so wildly unacceptable, like absolutely unacceptable, that like move out and break up with him. Cause like, I don't think you're wrong at all. Like, I also think that like when I am a parent and I'm older and if like my kid has a partner who is in college and working and is financially independent and doesn't have people nearby, like guardians who they grew up with who can like help them financially nearby, or if they like have like a bad home situation, like you're coming home with me. Like, come on. Like, I just think that like this notion that people who don't have like the same support system just need to like work harder at something that they like can't change, while simultaneously she's watching her own son she is supporting. People will support their own fucking kids and then watch people who didn't have that same support system and just like pull it by the bootstraps, work hard. And that's what Americans do. And it's like, you're not doing that for your kid though. Because that mentality only applies to people who you don't think deserve that help.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is batshit.
I'm probably going to get some flack for this.
Oh, God.
When you enter into agreement of living with someone, that changes the relationship dynamic. It turns from a personal relationship to a business relationship. I do not like how any of this was handled. I think they're completely wrong about how they're responding to you, how he's responding. Like, you shouldn't be dating this person. But if you move out and go somewhere else, you're still going to have to pay rent. And I don't know where you live or where you're going to go or what the like cost of living where it is. But like I paid more than $300 in college. And I'm not saying that it was right, but like in my apartment. And so I feel like if you move out, you're going to end up paying more. I don't think you should stay with these people. But like when you have already agreed upon paying something that changes the dynamics of what's going on. And I don't think I don't think it's right, but that's what they're expecting. And I don't know what their whole living situation is. I don't know what her mortgage is, if what you're paying helps subsidize that, but it just changes things.
I don't disagree with you on that, but I do think, and I think you probably agree with me on that, like, I think all of that onus is on Tammy. Like, I think that like, it's like the same kind of thing I feel with like kids who take out student loans.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you are like the younger person in that situation, like you are reaching out to like you're living with your boyfriend and like he lives in this home and that's his mom's home and like all of that kind of stuff. So like it is the mom's responsibility to like, that is not a tenant. That is your boyfriend's girlfriend. And like that should have been on her. But like, I understand what you mean that like the relationship is muddied, but I don't think that's your fault.
No, I don't think that's your fault. But like, you should move out. But you're most likely, like, if you reached out to a landlord, they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't be like, hey, yeah, of course. Which they should. I think, like, you're like, I'll eventually pay it back, which I think they should. But like, if you were renting from somewhere, they wouldn't be like, yeah, you can pay $50 less this month.
I would reach out to like your school to see if they have like financial aid options that involve housing, which like a lot of them do. And then if that's not able to work and you don't have like a friend who you can like crash with for a bit or like something like that, then I would also recommend applying for low income housing, and which is like based off, which all rent should be, which is based off of your income.
Right.
So I think that like it is one of those things that like I think that the true villain in all of this is like you said is like the treatment of you. It's not necessarily like it's being put in a financial situation that's like tough and having to work through that. Like I think that will always be better when you are with people who support you.
The things that they said to you is just not it. It's not nice. It's not how you should be treating someone that you love. Like he's not someone that you should continue to be with. He doesn't respect you at all. And his mom doesn't respect you either. But
it just feels like they're using you and like that, like her son was living there rent free, all that shit. And he's making all this money. And so then his mom was like, okay, how much is our mortgage payment? Do we have or whatever? And like, had you move in and have you do that so like she can pocket the money essentially. And like, it's just one of those things that like, it's like the same thing that I feel like when like couples move in together and like someone who makes way less money moves into the person who makes way more money, their place. And then the person's like, well, we're going to split it evenly.
Right.
And it's like, but you were already living here and like, why am I being used to subsidize your costs when we could then go out and find a place that would like, you should always be living in a place that it is affordable for the person who has the lowest income.
Right.
Like always. And so like, it just feels like really usy.
Unless you're open to paying more and you know that, and that's an agreed upon decision.
Yeah. That's what I mean. If you're going to split it, like if you're going to split it and you're going to have it be even, then it needs to be what is affordable for the person who makes the least amount of money.
Right.
And like, this just feels like they've both been using you.
So like, since she's rarely there and you've been keeping the house, if you hadn't moved in, would he have gotten someone else to move in and then they would have paid rent and been that person? I'm just thinking of it from that perspective. Like if you weren't living there, they would have had someone else move in and then pay rent.
My perspective is she wouldn't have done that and she would have hired a cleaning service or a house manager that she would be paying like $300 a month to do. Yeah, this is just like horrible. And like your boyfriend is horrible. I hate this. You're not wrong. And if anyone has any info or resources or knowledge on like low income housing for like college students or like any resources.
It's going to be specific to where she lives. So unless she tells us where she lives.
Well, if you're in the Facebook group, I'm sure that people might be able to help.
Yeah. But they should, if you go to your financial aid office at your school, they should be able to put you in contact with all those people.
Wow. Now it is time for Don't Blame Them, aka Rachel of the Week, where we're each going to nominate the absolute worst person this week. Person, place, or thing. What would you like to nominate?
Person. It is Kathryn, Kimball, Mizelle. And this is a Trump-appointed federal judge in Florida who was the person that made the decision that we will no longer be wearing masks on planes. And she said, and I quote, "Wearing a mask cleans nothing. At most, it traps virus droplets, but it neither sanitizes the person wearing the mask nor sanitizes the conveyance." Which, yeah, that's true, because like masks aren't sanitizing, but that's not their job. That's not the job of what masks do. They do trap water droplets from getting on other people and then other people getting it on you. That's what they do. That's the job. That's how a respiratory virus spreads.
She's like supremely stupid.
She's supremely stupid.
I say that in an insulting way and like just purely factual. Like she's actually like supremely unintelligent.
Yeah. The only trial that she ever was a part of was while she was an intern. And the American Bar Association, prior to her being appointed, said that she was not qualified because they cited her lack of experience. There could be some hope. The Justice Department said that they may make an appeal for the ruling. It typically takes a couple days to review and make the assessment. And that was according to Political. So at this point, American, Delta, United, Southwest, Alaskan, JetBlue, Frontier, all the big ones have all released statements saying that masks are no longer required. It just makes me sick because like there were videos of people literally while like on planes and the announcements being made and people were cheering and taking off their mask, and even like pilots and flight attendants were cheering. And I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. Even today, Uber said that they're not requiring their drivers or passengers to wear a mask either. Also, Amtrak, the train, don't have to wear a mask either, which is even worse because at least with planes, they have some type of filtration system and they don't with the trains or cars. There's a biodefense professor at the Scholar School of Policy and Government at George Mason University that argued that masking up is important in enclosed spaces for lengthy periods amid the uptick in COVID cases, which looking back from today, like new cases, we're at 19,379 cases, and the 7-day moving average cases is 35,212. We also have to keep in mind that people are self-testing at home, so these aren't even as accurate as it could be. Compared to last month, there were 10,000 cases, so we've got almost twice as much as we had last month for new cases. So this is just because people are traveling, so they're going to be moving all these germs around to different places. It's just going to be a shit show.
Yeah. And like so many people are like, oh my God, well, like this indicates like this just means that like we're coming out on the other end of it. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
No, we're not.
It doesn't mean that at all. Like, why are you like, of all these people who are like, don't trust big government. I'm like, but you trust this now. Like you're picking and choosing what you're saying is done in the best interest of the people.
Right.
And also, anyone who wants to say like, well, the numbers have gotten better. I'm like, do you remember at the absolute worst with the numbers we're at? Do you realize that better does not mean good?
Right.
Like when you're like in the, like when it's like so fucking horrible, slightly less horrible is better, a trajectory of that. So like, that's my issue with all these fucking graphs and shit that I'm like, first of all, the same thing you said, like we're self-testing, people aren't sharing it. They're not reporting any of that shit. And one of the things that they're doing at the NHS and one of the European ones where they was like, what they're testing now is like sewage and like samples of like the sewage. And that's how they're being able to predict like how many more people are actually having it, because a lot of people aren't even like getting tested and all of that. And then it's like the numbers are drastically higher. And that's happening here as well.
Yeah.
And like people are so comfortably ableist, like,
Right.
and like violently ableist. And you would think that a pandemic where you watch people you know or people like your friends, family members die and all of that, like that it would change, and it doesn't. And it's like a really terrifying realization that I like you have about people.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculously sad. And like I saw this tweet that Diet Prada posted in their carousel on Instagram about this. And it was like a mom who was like, I'm on an airline as this is happening. They make the announcement and all these people whip their masks off. And I'm just looking at like my kids who are under 5 years old who aren't vaccinated. And just like the whole notion that people are like, well, if you're sick or if you have like a compromised immune system, like just don't travel.
That's ableism.
If you have cancer, just like don't get on a plane. And I'm like, what? No, you can't say that. Like, that's not like that in itself is ableism. And those are the first people who fucking turn around and are like, what do you mean I can't be in black spaces as a white person? Like, what happened to like, what happened? Where's International Men's Day? And it's like, you want to feel so included in absolutely everything that is not about you. But the second that someone tells you that like your choices could kill everyone else, you're like, well, they should just live in a bubble outside because like doesn't fucking affect me.
It's just unfair and selfish.
Well, I agree with you on all of it. Obviously, I'm very upset about it. And I am a road trip girly. Got my pee funnel, but like, it's just, and I'm lucky that like I, you know, as of now, I don't even want to think about having to travel for work. On a lighter note, my Rachel of the Week, who I would like to nominate, is Revolve Fest. So if anyone has been keeping up with Coachella weekend 1, Revolve, I've done a bunch of TikToks on this kind of like explaining the difference between like Revolve Fest and Coachella if anyone's interested. But these videos came out where everybody was comparing Revolve Fest to Fyre Fest. And Revolve Fest is a festival that Revolve, the website, clothing website, they call themselves like Attainable Luxury, that they put on during Coachella weekend. And it's this like invite only for like influencers and celebrities. And they do all of this content creation, photo booths, pop-ups, like all of this stuff. Like it's this whole mini Coachella. They have their own performances and everything. And they obviously didn't have Coachella last year, so they really amped it up this year. And they, from my perspective...
So is it like at Coachella too? Like it's an event at, this is completely separate?
Completely separate from Coachella. So basically brands wanted to get involved with like influencers were going to Coachella, and it was like people were interested in it from like all over the world. And like it just became this whole like spectacle. Cause like it is this very like the actual festival, Coachella Festival itself, like if I was able to like tweak things, like not make it run by Golden Voices, and also like have because I can't eat anything there. So like have allergen friendly foods, have better transportation, have like better security systems, have like more readily available drug testings for people. Cause there's a lot of people who like there's a lot of paramedics you see there all the time. I love the festival in itself. Like during the day, like so much fun. Like it feels magical. Like it's so cool. Like it's great. I love that. But Coachella is like a huge stickler for not like essentially like not promoting other things while you're there. So like you can't bring in like big cameras. Like you can't do these installations and all that stuff. Like they own like everything. Their contracts are like super tight too. You'll notice that for performers who perform at Coachella that like there's lots of places they can't perform after. Like it's all of this shit. So brands wanted to get in on this because people were obsessed with Coachella. Like viewers were obsessed with watching people go to Coachella. And so Revolve built their own thing. And it's always, it's at this manor. It's like Greystone Manor or something. It's something that they talk somewhat. I Googled it, and it's also like a Real Housewives thing.
That's what I was going to say. Greystone Manor is.
I was, because Mott's was asking me, and I was like, I think it's Greystone Manor. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, it's something that's also in
because Greystone Manor is in this Revolve Fest is on the West Coast, right?
Yeah. Okay. Then I think
Greystone
of the
Manor
wrong
is
thing.
Dorinda's house, and she's a New York person.
Oh, I'm conflating this with the post I saw on my
Greystone Mansion, is that it? Because that's in Beverly Hills.
No, it's in Palm Springs.
Okay.
Oh, Merv Griffin Estate.
Oh, yeah. They have on Real Housewives who stayed there. They had a thing there, but that Greystone Manor is somebody else's house.
I'm conflating two things because I saw, I think the Greystone Manor one was like an Airbnb raffle, or they were doing something for something about that. I don't know. It was on like on my Finsta, one of the things popped up there. But yeah, this one in the article, it had said something about Real Housewives.
I think maybe Kyle rented it out for them to stay, but she has a house there, so they usually stay there. But yeah.
So they've done this here this is like where Revolve's always done this for, as far as from my experience. And so it's Coachella in itself, like Coachella Valley, like everything's really spread apart and far away from each other. So they're like where you stay, you have to take a bus to get to Coachella, like the actual festival, like nothing is close by. It is all like a hassle to get to. But this year, I guess from what I have seen from social media is that they allegedly, what people think happened was they over invited like way too many people. And they just were giving pretty much everyone an invite to this like VIP exclusive event. And then they didn't have the infrastructure there to make that work. And so people were jumping these security lines and like they were like storming to get to the bus. Like people were fainting. There was like no food and no water. People were waiting in line for like 8 hours. And they were like people that like Revolve reached out to them and invited them to come. And so they would like fly out to Palm Springs to go do this thing because it's like the way it was talked about, like it was like this invite only exclusive thing. And then a couple weeks or like a week before it actually happened, they sent like an email out to Revolve customers saying that they could get a ticket if they spent $2,000 at Revolve, like if you placed an order for that. And so I guess there were 3 lines. There were influencers and celebrities. And then the second line was VIPs, which was like most of the micro influencers and people that they invited. And then the third line was the customers who had done that.
I was wondering because I saw some girl that had like 100 followers on Instagram. I was like, how is she here? Maybe she's a friend of somebody, but that would make more sense. Okay.
And so from my knowledge, from a lot of people who I've seen commenting on things who were invited as like micro influencers to go to these things, they don't have like huge followings. And this is like not a knock to micro influencers at all. I think everyone starts as a micro influencer, like who's in this space. And I think that like micro influencers can actually be like the most influential because people trust them and they have an audience that they're like actively building at that time. But micro influencers get fucked over, like fucked over. Like from just what I've seen on TikTok, on Twitter, people talking about what the deals that they accept, like brands just take advantage and brands rely on these micro influencers to get so much content for them at an insulting rate. Like, so it's kind of like an MLM scheme. They're able to, with all of the numbers that those people drive through and all of the content that they're pushing out, they're able to then use that money and use that like ROI essentially to secure people like Kim Kardashian to come. Like, it's like, what is it? Robbing Peter to pay Paul, like that kind of, like that saying. It's very much that. And so the people who were getting onto the bus were, I think, from what it was been told, it was a lot of the people who are in the mostly like influencer line who are being favored to get on and or felt most confident that they should be the ones getting on. So they like took initiative and would kind of just push ahead. But apparently like buses, like there was no one really doing anything or managing the line at all. And so then people, like the buses were just like, fuck this. And then they would just like leave with nobody on them because they were like, everybody's like storming and screaming. And it was just like a madhouse. Then there are all these people who like actually went and like got in who are then making videos being like, that wasn't my experience. Like my experience is great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, shh. Like this just so sus and weird and odd and like, come on. And like the whole thing of being like, well, if they were on time, blah, blah, blah. And so the pinnacle of Revolve from a consumer and like an outsider standpoint is everything they do is like cool girl. Like that's what you want to be. Like they have that really exclusive, like really cool thing. Like, oh, it's like mysterious and awesome. And like, it's on everyone's vision board to work with Revolve, do Revolve Fest and all of it. It feels like the creme de la creme. Like it's like when you're there, you've made it. Like that's it because it feels so exclusive. And it feels like that when you are attending as well. That's how they keep their consumers buying shit is because it's like, you'll be like these people if you're cool. But they do the same thing to the influencers, like, and the people who are invited to those things that like, they have a select few people who they will treat really well, but other people, it's like being in a sorority where you're getting like, you're not being treated nicely. You're watching them treat other people badly, but like you will keep doing more and more for them in hopes that you will become one of the people that they do treat well. Cause you see that, like you see them, treating these other people well. And like, there's all this like talk about influencer culture and people have so many feelings about that. I will say something that I have come to the realization in the last like 24 hours. I think my perception of influencer culture is really different than other people's because I think mine is dated. I think that like, I don't have a huge knowledge of people who are currently in the space and like what they've done to kind of get there. Like my bread and butter is longer form content creation. And a lot of people have then messaged me and were like, hey, by the way, like, I think you're grouping yourself in with this group of people that like, I don't see you as doing the same thing. Like, and people having a very different viewpoint of what a content creator is versus an influencer. So I will say I'm not like defending influencer, like the influencers as like a whole. I will say that I'm really lucky that the people that I've worked with some horrible people, but I also like the people who I surround myself with and I work with. I guess I need to think about how I describe some of these people because I'm like, I would think of Grace and I both as you know what I mean? And I'm like, but I don't think other people are feeling that way.
But is it more like because you were in it pretty early, and you don't really, I mean, because of COVID, but you haven't really done any of those trips recently?
Well, I hate those things and I'm really not into that. But I guess I didn't perceive that was a choice that other people saw and that was something that was not just me choosing it. Yeah. Like I didn't realize that kind of puts me in a different category. Yeah.
Because like Grace doesn't go on any of those trips either. Yeah. So that's why I think it's different.
I think it is too. And I think that's what I'm realizing because I think the term influencer I've never liked, but it's always been used for people who make money online. It just has been. So like,
yeah. And also I feel like I'm not saying that some people don't have substance, but your stuff has substance and other people, like you have like meaning to the things that you're doing. It's not just like, here's my house. Here's that you're like presenting like, these are the struggles that I went to get my house. Some people, it's just like, they just want to see lifestyle porn. And I think those are the lifestyle porn influencers is the other category.
I think you're right. I think that I have associated the term influencer with like influencing for anything where I'm like influencing people to get out and vote, influencing people to like check in with their mental health and everybody else is like, no, that is a commission link. That is all that is all you're doing is making. And I was like, oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's and I also will say that I think the age of TikTok has completely changed what it means to become an influencer. Like, I think that before you couldn't stumble into this and like become famous with pretty much little to no effort. And I've always kind of stood by that I'm like, people who like content creators work really hard. Like you do all of this work before like to even get the opportunity to get sponsorships and like that brand's working with you. Like you do all of this, like we're marketing in ourselves, like we're marketing our own, we're doing research on like what audiences want, like what's trend, all of these things, like we're doing all of that. And that it doesn't happen accidentally. You can have a video go viral or like people can resonate with what you're doing, but like you're doing something, you're creating something. But with TikTok,
you're just putting something up and if it hits, and then people are reaching out to you.
And there's no logic to the algorithm. Yeah. Like you can crowdsource once and understand once you have an audience, but like it's an algorithm that favors you that has like been proven time and time again to like also be like incredibly like fat phobic and racist algorithm. So like I used to really think before like in the terms of like YouTube, like content creation YouTube, like there are formulas or there are people who perform better on YouTube than others, but you can't accidentally become successful because you can't make content by accident.
Yeah, you have to put work in.
But TikTok, you can.
Yeah.
You can make it by accident. And that, I think it's made content creation and being an influencer so much easier that I think that's kind of where the entitlement stereotype has come from, because I don't feel like most creators I know, no matter how big they are on YouTube, are really entitled from like the crowd or the era that I came up from, because like you were made fun of for being that person who films himself in their bedroom. Like, but being famous on TikTok is cool now.
Yeah.
Like, so it feels like it's just blown up into this whole other thing. So I will say though that like, I don't think that the issue is like influencer culture as a whole, or I don't think the influencers are to blame for influencer culture. I think we need to like focus on the brands, like the brands who are doing this.
If they did better with organizing, if they had people that were saying get in line, if they weren't separating people by the different, it's essentially classes within influencer lifestyle, or buying into the class, which is what happened. Specifically for Revolve Fest, then you wouldn't have these different hierarchies, and then you would if you treated everybody the same, then you'd have better results. Because if people are having a good ass time, they're going to share good ass content.
When you make your focus the influencers and not your customers and the consumers, and you make your entire brand based off of like being invited to the cool girl's birthday party, like you want to be cool like us, like it's just so bad and so horrible. And also I will say that like the thing that like really pisses me off about Revolve, and a lot of other brands do this, but Revolve specifically, they have said, and I will link it. I might say this, and so I will link the exact TikTok, but they did like some article. Actually, I think I screenshotted it. So from Media Kicks, I'll link it, but in an article, it says, at present, the social media marketing of Revolve is a business unto itself. It has poured and continues to pour money into the influencer marketing budget, accruing an enormous roster of over 3,500 influencers who collectively drive an estimated 70% of sales for the company, despite only making up for 25% of the annual marketing budget. And do you know what that means? That means that you are taking advantage of the people who are creating content for you, so you do not have to spend money on marketing. And like, that's what I'm like, I think that people who work in the social media space, like content creators and marketing people, I'm like, I need us to be on the same side, because sometimes like when you get these brand deal, like the shit that they are asking you to do, you're like, I know that you are reaching out to me to do the job of 100 people because you can pay me less. No, pay your marketing team to do this. Pay your marketing team to do this better. Don't think that you can then they're never getting promotions. They're never getting any, like the pay that they are getting is so much less because you can pay these other people less than them. Yep. And like, let's just stop. We can both coexist. There's a time and a place for both. But like when you ask individual content creators to do the job of somebody else for at a much lower pay rate, and then you brag about like, yeah, they drive this amount of sales, and like, we don't even spend that much money on a marketing budget because they do it for us for free. Like, that's just like it to me. I'm like, oh, you don't give a shit about them. You don't. Like, they're just numbers to you. But then you make influencers feel like it's about personal relationships. So they work their ass off to impress you. They do all of this free content for you. They're constantly doing that to get noticed and get attention from you. And in reality, you're just using them and making them feel like they need to be grateful for the opportunity to make you money. And like the asks for this stuff, a lot of people don't have like an understanding of like what a social media like ask is. And they're like, well, the fact that people are getting paid this, blah, blah, blah. You're getting paid because it's what you are making the company. So like it's the return on investment. So it's like the sales, the click through that they're all going to get. And like when I saw people who like were doing like in the span of 3 days at Revolve Fest, they did 12 Instagram posts. They did about 100 Instagram stories. All they're doing is creating content the entire time. And when you're inside there and you're inside the festival, all you're doing is creating content constantly. And that's it. It's not fun. It was the least amount of fun that I had of all of the Coachellas I ever went to. And there are wonderful perks. Yes. Free clothes, all of that. But when you know that the perks that you are getting do not equal the amount of money that they are making off of you, it feels gross. And it also feels gross because, like, yes, capitalism, people who work for Amazon, you're knowing that you're making Jeff Bezos all of this money and it's not all of that. Like, it's not happening in there. And then it's just the actual personal interactions where they go out of their way to make you feel like you have to like earn their acceptance into something that they invited you to. And it's like just a mind game.
Yeah.
And I hate it. People see it as being like easy money, and it's this really simple and easy thing to do. And like, first of all, when I hear someone complain about their job or like talk about the faults of their job or the hardships, at no point ever do I think that they are saying that their job is the hardest job in the world. Like, it's just like, I think if we don't let anybody vent about the current struggles in their own workplace, we romanticize these careers that like actually have a lot of like hardship to them. And we also like can't fix problems like that occur there.
But your job isn't a real job, though. So
I know.
That was sarcasm in case somebody thought, but I was being serious.
No, but like when you know, like I personally would rather have somebody talk about the hard parts of their job, of a job that looks so glamorous, than the whole time to like, I think people think that you need to be loudly grateful and like quietly critical. And I don't think that that does a service to anybody. And like, especially in the age of social media where everything is a highlight reel and everything looks amazing and great. Like, I don't think that it makes you ungrateful to point out how things aren't always as they seem. And like, as someone who consumes that stuff, like I fall for that shit all the time. Like I love when people talk about like, this wasn't all it's cracked up to be. And I think that the issue is a lot of the time the people who are within influencer culture who are critiquing it will say like, will not recognize that like they will conflate money in the sense of like, well, money doesn't make you like bring happiness or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's the same thing as throwing the white privilege thing around where it's like, yeah, that is like having money now for me. It doesn't bring happiness, but it doesn't, I've eliminated an entire subset of problems from my life because I have money. Like unless something changes for me financially, like that is an entire subset of problems that I don't have. So any of the problems that I have doesn't make them any less valid, but it just means that I don't have those ones. Right. And people who I'm speaking to, they have those ones.
Right. Money gives you it can give you emotional stability that's still, it's not like mental health, but it can affect your mental health. If I didn't have enough money to eat, then that puts a strain on my body. But you eliminate, if I have enough money just to eat, that eliminates something. If I don't have enough money for housing, that, it's just like different tiers.
Yeah.
And I think people see things like as you've got your basic needs met, so you're fine.
But I also think in the same sense, I think that people who do critique, I think influencers, when they complain about things or they talk about things or whatever, I think when they themselves directly relate it to, well, money doesn't buy happiness, essentially tells poor people that like you can have problems regardless of your income situation, but not having income is a problem. That like that does not differ to anyone. Like the poorest person in the world that they have financial struggles that don't go away no matter how good their mental, like it affects every aspect of your life. And that's the part where I think is completely like out of touch. Like I think that is one that I'm like, and I'm sure I've probably said it at some point or another when I was like in a very dark place, but like, it's just one of those things that like, if people want to critique, which I think we should continue to critique influencer culture and system, everything. But I think if when we are a part of it and you are a part of that doing so, and unless we can acknowledge that money is a privilege, then there's no way that we're going to get anywhere with anything. Because I also think that like when I didn't have money, I viewed financial stability, financial success, and independence as something that was going to make me happy and that would fix all of my problems. And because we don't talk about the privilege of money enough, when it didn't fix all of my problems, it fixed some of them.
It fixed enough where you could have the access to physical and mental health assistance, healthcare that helped with the other things.
And that's where I think capitalism comes into play in all of this, that it becomes like hustle money, blah, 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 where it becomes we all need to have our basic needs met. But when we strive to, when you reach a certain tax bracket, that capitalism romanticizes wealth, when in reality, like what having money does is it eliminates the struggles that no one should be facing. The whole thing is just like wildly fucked. And I think also for people, if it helps you to unfollow content creators, when you see them complaining about all of the stuff like Revolve Fest and blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. This was the last thing I was going to say to this. I really do understand, though, the anger of people complaining and how they probably didn't think through what they were saying. But people don't want to talk about like the job side of influencer-ness as much. But my thing that was running through my head is I'm like, oh, these people are panicking because they signed contracts that they have to create all of this content at Revolve Fest about Revolve Fest and they can't get in. And they are in breach of their contract.
That's true.
And that's going to go on them. So I am curious to see what will happen with that. I did a wonderful TikTok with my suggestions to the Revolve PR team. If anyone wants to watch, it's quite funny. But yeah.
The Duolingo Owl and Scrub Daddy also did a little parody. They also had a few scrub babies. So check that out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Well.
Positive thing of the week.
Oh, yeah. I guess my positive thing would probably be that we bought a house and like we're moving, and it's such an out of body experience because in California, but everywhere, home ownership is becoming like a more and more distant goalpost for people. And the fact that like we had the access and the privilege to be able to like make this work is just wild. I can't believe it. So that is my good thing of the week. And the other good thing of the week that's pertaining to that is I found out that our house has a giant avocado tree and a fig tree.
Oh,
they produce a lot, apparently.
Yeah, they do.
And so I'm also going to work on when we're eventually move everything in and do I really want to do like a garden. So I've been looking into that. Excited.
You can get some of my tomato seeds.
Oh, what's your good thing of the week?
I do want to give a shout out to our editor, Coco. She knows what she did, but she's great.
Coco and Melissa robbed a bank together.
She's at Coachella right now, but she did some cool stuff.
Cheller.
So this man, what happened to him was bad, but he was at work and they threw him a surprise birthday party. And he told them like the week before that he didn't want to have a party because he has severe anxiety. And they did it anyway. And he had like a breakdown and then got fired from work because of it.
He got fired?
The guy that they threw the birthday party for, even though he told them like he can't, like he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
I hate surprise parties, so I can understand that. And so a jury awarded him $450,000.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. 27 years old. His name's Kevin Berlin. So.
What company was it?
Gravity Diagnostics, a lab testing based in Covington, Kentucky. He suffers from anxiety disorder and feared attention would trigger a panic attack. And so like don't put people in situations that will trigger their mental health.
Clearly the party wasn't for him. It was for their own egos.
It was for their own egos. And they still stand by it too. Like they think that they like the reason they terminated him is still like valid.
I wonder if they'll get a fine from
someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I feel like it's a win for recognizing that you have to take people's mental health seriously.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations on the payday.
Yeah.
Well, that is now officially it for our episode. We hope you all enjoyed. If you want to send us an email submission, send it on over to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. And this episode comes out on Thursday, but the votes will be up Friday or before Monday. Most likely they will be up on Friday. So head on over to vote. And if you have any suggestions for Rachel of the Week or good news of the week or anything, tag us on TikTok, Instagram, send us a DM. Shoot us a tweet, all of the above. And yeah, okay. We'll see you all next time. Oh, we'll circle back. But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Meghan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
and production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Welcome and enter if you dare. Hi, I'm Hallie Keeper.
And I'm Allison Leiby. And together, we're the hosts of Ruined, a scary movie podcast where Hallie tells me the grisly details of a haunting new horror film each week.
Whether you're a terror hound like me or a scaredy cat like Allison, we've got so many thrills, chills, and obviously kills to share with you in every episode.
It's the podcast that'll have you saying, that was so funny. I should not have listened to it at night with all the lights off.
From the greats like The Exorcist and Poltergeist to modern classics such as Hereditary and Get Out to the freakiest new releases like A Quiet Place and Terrifier, we ruin them all and we'll leave you howling, mostly from laughter, sometimes because you're turning into a werewolf.
Ooh. Listen along as I try and guess the movie's twist, predict who will survive, and answer the hardest question of all. What would you do?
So please listen to new episodes of Ruined every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And whatever you do, we're begging you, please
keep it spooky.
From the darkest corners of our imagination comes a game show that's more ridiculous than terrifying. Welcome to Tickled to Death, the horror comedy game show where nothing is sacred, everything's a little unhinged, and the only thing more cursed than the questions are the jokes. I'm Roz Hernandez, your fearless host, and each week I'll be leading a brave group of guests through twisted horror trivia, improv games, and enough sarcastic banter to make you question all your life's choices. So come for the screams, stay for the snark. Listen to Tickled to Death wherever you get your podcasts, and hit follow unless you want the show to follow you. In the meantime, don't get tickled to death.
There are vampires out there. They walk among you, shoulder to shoulder in the dark. Heading to work, heading home, going to the bar. It's a life just like anyone else's, and I have grown used to it. To the darkness, to the moon, to the taste of blood on my tongue. But vampires are dying out. We are a fading kind, and I am the first one created in so long, and that is a dangerous thing to be. Those who came before me, elders of all stripes, they do not want to see our kind gone, and they will do anything to keep their power. And for myself, and for Grace, who created me, that is a sword that hangs above our heads. And the worst person of all carries our secret, and he will use it however he sees fit. Who do you look to when things are at their darkest? From the creators of Parkdale Haunt comes Woodbine, a podcast about monsters, dreams, and changes, those you want and those you never saw coming. Season 2 arrives September 24th, distributed by Realm.